I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.
Being an American of Cuban descent, one thing I hate is communists. I hate them. I can't stand communists that reside inside of America. Letitia James is one of them, and baby, we got her. Today, federal authorities have announced that Letitia James has been federally indicted by a grand jury in the Eastern District of Virginia for one count of bank fraud. She is going down. And it's so elaborate, her fraud. But the point is, I had to listen to Black people like Letitia James, like Alvin Bragg, like, what's the one down in Fani Willis and her boyfriend, Nathan Wade. I had to watch, I'm like, what are the odds that the three people going after my president, embarrassing us in front of the entire world, what are the odds the only people dumb enough, stupid enough to risk their entire careers, their reputations, the only ones who are willing to put themselves out there in the front for no reason to try to illegally frame a man for crimes he didn't commit? What are the odds they were Black? But I'm not supposed to notice race. I'm not supposed to notice 13% of the population, yet 100% behind the prosecutor. It doesn't make sense. But you know, the using Black people to push communism in the United States is nothing new. I remember when it began under Dr. Martin Luther King. He was one of the first. And his community, the Black community, has never recovered since. You know, in my home country, they told the dark-skinned Cubans that communism was the cure to racism. And guess what? You lose everything. When you become ideologically driven and you're basing how you move and your decisions off of envy and jealousy of other people based on their appearance because you're insecure about your appearance, you lose everything every single time. The communists will not win. They will trick you into thinking you guys stand a chance. But one thing about the communists that they are good at is they're good at exterminating their own people. See, communism only works in small groups. That's why the word commune comes from. They have communist societies in Utah. They're called Mormons. But it only works in small groups, not over entire nations. That's why you can't find one nation ran solely by communism that's ever succeeded in the world. Capitalism comes in. But it's just funny. These people that hated Trump, they're all communists. They also have a proclivity for children as well. It's sick. But let's listen to some of the reporting. I'm just a little too giddy. I'm too excited. I need to calm down right now. But it's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. I remember watching her talk crazy and her little minions running around. Oh, Trump, 34 felony. Shut up. It's bullshit. He's not a felon. He doesn't have 30. That 34 paperwork nonsense felon. It wasn't even a real charge. Oh, it's in furtherance of another crime. What's the other crime? Oh, I don't have to actually tell you. Alvin Bragg, you morsel, round, blubbery piece of dog shit. You know, I loathe these people. Can't stand them.
Oh, Letitia James has been indicted? Well, what do you know? The hits keep coming. Letitia James, the New York Attorney General who defeated Trump in court by cheating, has been indicted. Fool. You absolute cow. Attorney General Letitia James was indicted Thursday in Alexandria, Virginia, as President Donald Trump's Justice Department continues to pursue charges against his political opponents. Two sources familiar with the matter told CNN. James had been under investigation since May over a 2023 mortgage she took out to help her niece buy a home in Norfolk, Virginia. The charges come as Trump continues to call for his enemies to be prosecuted in court. Former FBI director, we'll have to do some real-time editing here, as we often do with the mainstream media. Let's see. These charges come as Trump continues to call for not his enemies, criminals. Well, what else could we say?
Exactly. These are not the enemies of Trump. These are the enemies of the Justice Department. These are the enemies of the legal system. Remember, when the Democrats were in power, they wielded power and they perverted justice. It was a disgrace. It was an embarrassment to have to watch these people with their nonsense every single day, their lies, their criminality, and they felt emboldened. These people garnered support to do illegal things, directly saying they're running campaigns to target a person that's going to be running for president, which is illegal. And they still did it. And they thought they were going to get away with it. Remember, we're barely 200 and something days in. Oh, we got more good times ahead. The hits just keep coming.
Criminal Democrat scum. Maybe that would be a better descriptor. They're not Trump's enemies. They're enemies of humanity. They're enemies of America. They're enemies of the rule of law, and they're getting what's coming to them. The charges come as Trump continues to call for criminal Democrat scum to be prosecuted in court. Former FBI Director James Comey pled not guilty Wednesday to allegedly making a false statement in a congressional proceeding. The Justice Department has also opened an investigation into former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton, California Democrat Senator Adam Schiff, and others. James's relationship with Trump has been adversarial for years as James campaigned on promises to investigate Trump and ultimately won a civil fraud case against Trump, his adult sons, and his real estate business. That sentence, this sentence alone, discredits everything Letitia James ever did to Trump. The relationship has been Trump with the adversary over years as Letitia James, campaigned on promises to investigate Trump. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean? That means the entire prosecution was fraudulent. That means she was elected on the promise to go after Trump despite not having a crime to pin him on yet. I mean, it's ridiculous.
She was literally sent to target him. She was instructed. This wasn't she basically was trying to do the right thing. It was just a natural no. Her people are for sale. No pun intended. They literally you can pay them to say and do anything because cash is king. However, someone paid them to throw their futures away and they took the money. That means there was zero foresight within any of these people that I named. Alvin Bragg had nothing, no foresight. Nathan Wade, no foresight. Letitia James, definitely no foresight. And Big Fannie Willis, zero. They don't care. But see, one thing about certain people, you can't shame the shameless. They don't care about their reputation. They don't care about their futures. They don't care about their children. They don't care about anything except basically their own short-term gratification. If it made them feel good to make that little money they were being paid by, I would think it would be the World Economic Forum that also backed them, the same people that are backing the Free Palestine nonsense. They backed these people to go after Trump. They didn't want Trump back in office. So, and now to watch her become embarrassed and everything that she put against Trump to be undone and unraveled and reversed, it's music to my ears. These people hate when you say the phrase, make America great again. It scares them. But my question is, why would you want to live in this country if making America great upsets you? I watch these people spit on my flag. I watch these people embarrass my country, embarrass the people that are around us that are literally putting in the work to improve things. They don't want to improve anything. They want everything bad. They want everything to collapse. They want people to die. They don't. This is a death cult. Why do you think they're trying to vote in Mondani? Why do you think they're offering universal basic income? That'll destroy New York. Oh, we're going to raise minimum wage. No, that's UBI. You want a Hunger Games society. We're not letting it happen. The United States will never fall into the hands of globalists. It will remain in the hands of patriots and nationalists. America first, Americans first, America only.
She literally went out and said, vote for me. I'll get Donald Trump on something. They voted for her. She went through everything Trump had ever done. The only thing she could even find was a loan he had taken out and paid back already, for which the bank had no objection, for which the bank had, provided their own due diligence and said this is no problem. She found a loan that Trump had already paid off, said actually the thing that you put up as collateral for the loan is worth more than you said it was, or worth less than you said it was. Therefore, that's fraud. Impacted nothing, was completely meaningless. A ridiculous process crime that isn't even a process crime. If he, put the wrong price on Mar-a-Lago, the bank providing him the loan would have seen that and objected to it.
Only a complete and utter idiot would not understand how loans and mortgages work. They don't understand how appraisals work. They don't understand relationships between banks. Remember, these are morons. These are criminals. These are people who are corrupt, and they are willing to embarrass themselves because guess what? They do not. The reason they don't care is because they can always claim victimhood. They're going to say my reputation is destroyed, not because I'm a bad person who made bad decisions, but because of racism and oppression. You are oppressing me by telling the truth about me. These people will never be held accountable because they can't hold themselves accountable. It's a mental disease. To believe in racism is a mental disorder at this point. If you see evil white people around every corner and you pretend they're stopping you from leaving your house so you can go to work, and they're preventing you from taking care of your kids, and you're just being tormented by invisible, imaginary white people every day, you're mentally ill. You're sick. These people that claim Trump this, they have TDS, they're sick. They're mentally ill and deranged. That's why they have to huddle together with each other, because they all share the same delusion. I think it's called mass formation psychosis, something like that. She's one of them.
So she makes her entire political existence, dependent on, there's a statue of her honoring her in New York City.
I can't wait until we can bulldoze that statue. If I'm in New York, that puppy's gone.
Makes her entire political career on going after Donald Trump despite not having anything to charge him with, rigs the system, gets a biased jury, a biased judge, completely manipulates the actual law as it stands to get something on him, and she's fat too. This is a political witch hunt, and I believe she should be ashamed of herself, Trump testified. You believe this political hack back there, and that's unfortunate. Completely absurd. Now I've got videos, maybe I'll go to them today, where really all they got out of that was the ability of deceitful people to tell morons that Trump was a convicted felon. That's what they got out of it, is that they get to say, well, but Trump's a convicted felon.
And you know what? You know how many people I hear say that a day now that I'm in this space and I'm doing interviews and I talk to people all the time now? I hear this and I'm like, what is your point? 34 felonies based on paperwork. Well, he's a felon. I'm a felon. You're a felon because you're a drug dealer. You were trafficking children. You were a burglar. You were accused of attempted murder. You and Trump are not the same type of. It's not the same type of felony. You understand that, right? His were for clerical errors, allegedly, and that was fake. Yours were for being a violent, disgusting criminal of society. That's from the underbelly. That should be in a cage, and once you're released, your citizenship should be stripped from you and you should be sent to another continent. That's just my opinion. I think after a certain amount of convictions, your birthright citizenship could be revoked and you should be deported and become someone else's problem. I don't think we should just let these people rot in prison, and then when they get out, because they can't work, we have to take care of them. I think they should be sent somewhere else. Whatever other country you put in front of your name, whether it's African American, Mexican, go back to wherever that first part of your name is. We'll send you there, build you a life, and guess what? You won't have to worry about any of the racism or oppression issues you worry about here. You won't have to worry about them there. That's just my opinion. That's my thoughts. That's how I would make America great again. I would just remove the people who are antithetical to our system and to our society.
And they rely on the lack of information of your average American to think that that's true, when in reality it was all a giant con game, as was obvious to anybody who paid even a little bit of attention. So that's fantastic news. That's very good news. It's like the very least you could charge her with, but it's something. And we're moving forward, and we're moving in that direction. And that's wonderful to see. And she deserves to go to jail for a lot of things. But sure, get her on the mortgage stuff. That is as good as anything, in my opinion. Absolutely incredible.
So why don't you just keep your mouth shut?
Oh,
because you showed up.
Is that the way to talk?
You showed up. You voted.
You can extend it right
A
now.
permanent extension of massive tax breaks. Is that right?
90% of Americans take the standard deduction,
Is that
right?
right?
If you had your way, the standard deduction would have been cut in half. That
No
would have been a
one-
massive tax increase
no one-
on Americans.
Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic Party, and the rest of the deep state want you and I to show.
Yeah, this is incredible news. To watch her be perp walked and embarrassed like this is amazing.
James denies the allegations and says she's being targeted by the Trump administration. For more on this, let's bring in Fox News Sunday anchor and chief legal correspondent Shannon Bream. So what's this case about, and does the Justice Department have a case?
So there are allegations that she did not give proper information on loan documents, possible mortgage documents about primary residence, things that would have given her a better loan.
What they're saying is that she had to list her father as her husband, which is a direct violation and misrepresentation of their relationship. People think that's something small. It's actually a big deal. But let's see here. I wanted to get one of the most recent ones. Okay, this is recent.
And repeated fraud. Last week, we proved that in our motion for summary judgment. Today, we will prove our other claims. My message is simple. No matter how powerful
Listen to her bullshit message.
you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law.
No matter how much money you think you may have, lady, you bit off more than you can chew. Now, this is barely almost 2 years ago to the day. She was high off of her own bullshit. She had no idea. She couldn't look forward 2 years and see that she was going to be in this position. Unbelievable. Indicted by the Justice Department today. This is amazing. I'm very excited and very happy to hear that.
They were void of any facts and or any evidence. What they were comments that unfortunately fomented violence, comments that I would describe as race baiting, and comments, unfortunately, that appeals to the bottom of our humanity.
To stand up to an administration which is too male, too pale, and too stale.
She said we're going to stand up to an administration that is too male, too pale, and too stale. Then go find you a black woman utopia and go live there. Now, you don't have to leave because we're polite people in polite society. So what we've done is we've set up boxes. There are boxes made of metal with bars on them, but there are boxes made of pine. You can choose which one you want to go to, but it'll be easier if you just evacuate yourself. I'm like I said, I'm amazed that it even went this far. Letitia James indicted. This is just amazing news.
Of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding. All because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General.
Lady, do you know how many other cases you could have been dealing with? To go after the former sitting president was not your job. To make up lies about him and exaggerate his charges was not your job. You were paid to do this, and now your whole career in your name. But that's the thing about, again, people like her, you can't shame the shameless. They don't care. They don't care because they see themselves as less than anyway. So they can't really get any lower than who they are according to them. Let them tell it. They're bottom of the barrel. They're the worst. They're treated poorly. They don't think that they're anything anyway. That's why it's really easy to get them to do stuff like this. This was a huge mistake and a very large miscalculation for her. She's facing, let's see here. Allegedly, she lied on a mortgage to get a better loan terms for a property in Virginia. Allegedly, it was a property for her niece. The Department of Justice says she profited almost $19,000 through false claims. Tisk, tisk. She faces up to 30 years per count plus a $1 million fine per charge. In my opinion, if I know what I know about our president and now that the justice system is being returned and law and order is coming back, they're gonna try to get her on every single charge. And I don't think they should show her any mercy. She wouldn't have showed us. She didn't show us any. She would have never shown Trump any mercy. She faces up to 30 years per count. Okay, her first court date is the 24th of this month in Norfolk, Virginia. Oh, this is coming up quick. Now, her rebuttal is this is political, and the Department of Justice says, "But wait, I thought you said no one's above the law." MAGA does strike back. This is our time. I said this was going to happen. I've always said these people project. What they say about you is what they're really doing, and that's why they accuse you of it, because they know a lot about it, because that's what they're doing themselves. They always project. They are the party of criminals. They don't like people that work. They don't like people that earn. They want to steal from you, and they want to basically make you a target. But you can be a target, but you don't got to be a victim. They consider themselves victims. But you're more than that. We're more than that. Some people call it poetic justice after her years of pursuing Trump. I just call it justice. I cannot believe she really thought she was going to get away with this. And she's not alone. We've already been going after Fani Willis. And Alvin Bragg's ass is going to be cooked also. Justice is coming for all. And will be distributed properly to everyone. Now we got to get Mondani out the way and stop this whole push for UBI in New York. Like and subscribe, share the video. Right Wing Rico, the single boyfriend. We'll be back on live in a few minutes with another topic. This is great news. Letitia James, go to hell. Alvin Bragg, Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, you go with her. I'll see you guys shortly. America first, America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.